Hey, I've seen a lot of you guys. I was checking on watching my videos. I just recently uploaded. I noticed like a couple hundred of you guys. Last time I checked, it's almost like 300 views, I think. Watched my part part two of the President Trump video, not wanting to be participate in the debates. Um, that's I'm surprised. I'm happy. And thank you all for tuning in and watching that and liking if you did. And also share the video to anybody that you know so others can see it. It'll, of course, help the YouTube algorithm. It'll help my videos get more attention so more people see them. And of course, my subscriber count will go up if that happens. But I just really appreciate um, all of you who watched that video and also my other videos. And it's just for me, it's crazy to see that number because I usually, if I my most popular videos that receive several hundred views, I notice I only get that many views within a couple of months instead of just like less than a day, which is what happened with my last posted video. Um, So yeah, I'm excited to see that, and hopefully that trend continues with my other videos. I'm still noticing the trend that my political videos are more popular than my other videos. So, but I am still going to talk about like other things other than politics, but I'll still make videos about politics. Um, yeah. So yeah, I'm really happy to see that many of you watch the video. But I did want to say that watch part one because part one only like received a handful of views. Part two received way more views. Um, and you need to watch part one, obviously, because if you just go on to part two, you're just not gonna understand what I'm talking about. Part two is just a few minutes long. If you watch part one, which is longer, you're gonna get the full picture of what I'm saying, and you know, it makes sense. Like if you're gonna watch a movie, you're not gonna start from the middle or three quarters or skip to the end. You're gonna, of course, start from the beginning. And same thing with a book. So, I mean, I don't need to tell you guys this, but that's just what I noticed. So please, before you watch part two of that video, watch part one. Um, I know I posted part one before part two. Maybe I should have posted part one first, but it's right below part two. So just watch part one. I would appreciate that because I want um, people to watch the first part in the series before they go skip to the second part. Okay, but enough of that. Moving on. Um, so yeah, on to what today's video is going to be about. Um, so I just heard, like, literally after I filmed my other video about President Trump not choosing not to participate in debates, I just heard that he quote unquote surrendered to the Georgia charges against him that he illegally, I'll explain why I put that in quotes, illegally tried to overturn the 2020 election. Um, so I've got an article here on my phone that I'm going to read, maybe part of it, maybe the whole thing. It is pretty lengthy. So we'll all get to see, or at least I'll get to, see more about what's going on because um, I just know that he might be actually being arrested and actually might go to jail. And like what I've heard so far, it's pretty concerning and disturbing. And I'm just concerned about him, concerned about this race, about everything. And I'm just not liking what I'm hearing and reading so far. So I thought I would just, as usual, get on YouTube and just express what I have to say about this. Um, so yeah, I'm gonna get into the article because, like I said, I don't really know what's going on. Yeah, and it is official. Like it seems like it's official. It's gonna happen Thursday. That's according to President Trump. That's according to various media outlets. Um, I'll try to find the quote of what he said about this. I got the quote in the article, but it's just like a partial quote. I'm trying to find the full quote. But yeah, it doesn't look good. At first, I thought I was saying that like months ago when he was first, indicted, his first indictment this year. I was like, oh, this isn't good. And I was scared. And I was like, oh, what's going to happen? Is he not going to be able to run for president? And I mean, we're, a couple months, many indictments later, and he's still the front runner in this election. And that's what I'm concerned about. I don't know, since he's actually looks like he's actually going to be arrested and put in jail. I don't know if this is actually, gonna really hurt his chances of winning this race and like disqualify him from running. I really hope it doesn't, but to me, it doesn't look really good for him right now. But I'm still remaining hopeful because he's been through a lot in his not only political life but his personal life, and I just noticed he's a very strong person. He perseveres through a lot of obstacles. Like I noticed, like our personalities. Not only do we have pretty much the same beliefs, but our personalities are like really strong too. But I don't know. I'll give it to him. Like his might be stronger than mine because I mean, if I were in his shoes, like I'm a pretty tough person, like mentally and just emotionally. But um, yeah, I don't know. I probably would have had like a meltdown at this point with just fed up and sick of it with everybody. But he's as usual keeping calm. Um, but he is frustrated, and I understand that. But anyway, I'm going to get into this article from AP News. Let's see what they have to say. Trump says he will surrender Thursday on Georgia charges tied to efforts to overturn 2020 election. Former President Donald Trump says he will surrender to authorities in Georgia on Thursday to face charges in the case accusing him of illegally scheming to overturn his 2020 election loss in the state. Now, here's this quote, but it's not the full quote. I'm still going to try to find that. It says, quote, "Can you believe it? I'll be going to Atlanta, Georgia on Thursday to be arrested," end quote. Trump wrote on his social media network Monday night, hours after his bond was set at $20,000. The guy's a literal billionaire. He'll get out. Um, you know what? Now that they mention that, is he even going? If he like post bond and he gets out, like, will he even be spending any time in an actual jail cell? I don't know. Maybe not. I hope not. If other people can do it, he can do it. Because I mean, this isn't even supposed to be happening anyway. I'm moving on. It will be Trump's fourth arrest since April, when he became the first former president in U.S. history to face indictment. So when was his first arrest? I'm sorry, guys, but to be honest, I haven't really been like following his indictments and everything that closely. I just been like following it here and there, um, mostly because like I'm just focused on what's going on in my own life. Um, but yeah, um, yeah, I don't know when he was. I know he was indicted. I don't know when he was. Okay, I see what they're saying. Yeah, well, yeah, he was arrested for each indictment. But I think this is the first I've heard about him actually, you know, being placed going to be placed in an actual jail cell. Like I know he was facing indictments and arrests, but and he's actually going to face incarceration. That's the word I'm looking for this time. It looks like, but that's if he doesn't post bond, which I hope he does, because like I said, he's a billionaire. $20,000 probably nothing to him. But yeah. Okay, moving on. Since then, Trump, who remains the leading candidate for the Republican presidential nomination, has had what seemed like an endless procession of bookings and arraignments in jurisdictions across the country. His appearances in New York, Florida, and Washington, D.C. have drawn enormous media attention, with news helicopters tracking his every move. Trump's announcement came hours after his attorneys met with prosecutors in Atlanta to discuss the details of his release on bond. The former president is barred from intimidating co defendants, witnesses, or victims in the case, including on social media, according to the bond agreement. Since when did he intimidate anybody? They're saying he's calling for um protests. No, what they say? That he was calling for what was it? Riots? I think that was what this. I mean, it's not even like I riots. That's definitely not okay. He didn't even call for that, but calling for protests, there's nothing wrong with that. That's our God-given right in this country. The First Amendment, freedom of speech. Um, and then was it also freedom of assembly? But yeah, definitely freedom of speech. So calling for protests, which isn't rioting, peaceful protests. There's nothing wrong with that. But he hasn't been intimidating anybody from what I've seen what he's posted on his social media. Um, this is injustice, and he wants people to call out this injustice in his favor because it's not right. So he wants as many people on his side as he can to support him and defend him. Not like he needs to call for that because people are automatically doing that, like me, many others across the country and across the world too. But yeah, no intimidation. He's just expressing his frustration. Is what I'm seeing. Um, okay, according to the bond agreement, okay, it explicitly includes quote posts on social media or repost of posts end quote made by others. Okay, I haven't seen the repost, so I can't comment on that. Trump has repeatedly used social media to attack people involved, and see, that's why I'm saying this is a little bit biased. Because if you're gonna make accusations, you gotta back it up. Like, where exactly did he attack somebody on his social media? Um, but they don't expect people to fact check anything. Like, they just expect people to just read this and say, "Oh, he did this. He's a bad guy." That's why they don't add any proof of any of this stuff. Okay, I'm where's trying to get to the important parts. Yeah, this article is really lengthy. I'm not going to read all of this. I think you guys I got the gist of it. Is he doesn't post bond, he's going to be going to jail for this 2020 election thing. Okay, I want to get to the part where it says he's going to jail. I was reading. I'm gonna scroll to that because I was reading this really concerning part. Okay, the order sets Trump's bond for the racketeer, influence, and corrupt organizations, or RICO, RICO, charge at $80,000 and adds $10,000 for each of the 12 other counts he's facing. Okay. Oh, wait. Bond is the amount defendants pay as a form of collateral to ensure they show up for required court appearances. Yeah, I sometimes I get bail and bond confused. Um, but yeah. Where is Willis set a deadline of noon Friday for Trump and his 18 co-defendants to turn themselves in to be booked. 18 co-defendants, where'd they come from? Okay, what about this? What does it say about him going to jail? Uh, okay, so Trump's attorney staying silent on this. Spokesman staying silent on this too. Well, of course, President Trump has been very vocal about it, as he should be. Uh, okay. He is expected to turn himself in at the Fulton County Jail, which has long been plagued with problems. The Department of Justice last month opened a civil rights investigation into conditions, citing filthy cells, violence, and the death last year of a man whose body was found covered in insects in the main jail's psychiatric wing. 3 people have died in Fulton County custody in the past month. So why send him here? And he hasn't even done. Eh, he hasn't even done anything that just warrants this type of treatment. This is so awful that he's just going through all of this right now. And it just keeps getting worse, but he keeps hanging in there. Like, he's such an inspiration. I don't mean to get sidetracked, but I just want to say, like, he's such an inspiration. I mean, just look at everything that he's going through, and he's still, you know, still the front runner. He's still trying, for us. And it's just really amazing, his spirit, his perseverance, his determination to win this race and to become president for his second term. I really want him to do it this time. Of course, he can run again. He can run as many times as he wants, but he's really getting up there in age. Like, he's almost 80, I believe. And, you know, but anyways, yeah, this is really inspiring. Um, what he's going through and how he's just handling it. So yeah, I just want to say that I've always found him inspiring. Or ever since I've been following his journey ever since he first ran for president. That's when I first became inspired by him. But yeah, so continuing on. Yeah, so those sound like awful conditions for that specific jail, and now they're gonna put him here. Can't they find a better jail? I mean, I don't want to say that because he shouldn't be going to jail anyways, but if they really are going to incarcerate President Trump, he doesn't deserve to be put in those types of inhumane conditions. That's what is that? Doesn't that can count for a violation of his human rights? It talked about violation of human rights. Um, that's against cruel and unusual punishment. I believe that definitely would uh, count for that if they placed him in those types of conditions. That would count for cruel and unusual punishment. Okay. The Fulton County Sheriff's Office said in a news release Monday afternoon that when Trump surrenders, there will be a quote unquote hard lockdown of the area surrounding the jail. But Trump is not expected to spend much time there. Shouldn't be spending any time there, especially in a place like that. But I've already said that. Uh, okay. They're talking about the booking process when they arrive there. Since Trump's bond has already been set, he will be released from custody once the booking process is complete. I'm gonna put him through all of this as if he's an actual criminal. I know a lot of people are gonna disagree. I'm not gonna say anything if anybody disagrees in the comments. Like that's your right to disagree with me, as long as, of course, you're respectful. Because if you are disrespectful, you know what's going to happen. But yeah, I've never had a problem with people disagreeing with me. So I know a lot of people are saying he's a criminal, lock him up, all that stuff. And of course, I strongly, strongly disagree with that. And I don't know, like, since, I mean, he survived two impeachments. He survived, like, all the stuff being thrown against him. I believe he's going to survive this too. I believe he's going to pull through. I mean, they wanted to disqualify him. He would have been disqualified already. Um, okay, I'm sorry I keep interrupting. But I'm not going to get through the whole article anyway because it's really long. But 20 minutes in, we'll see how much we'll get through. Interesting so far, and it's really sad what I'm reading right now. Okay, talk about the arraignments. Booking a former president who still has 24-hour Secret Service protection has created myriad security and logistical issues in other jurisdictions. Um, okay, I don't see how. That's for his protection, so. In his past appearances in the New York State Court and federal courts in Miami and Washington, Trump was not handcuffed while in custody. He was also not required to pose for a mugshot, with officials instead using existing photographs of the former president. Okay, so he was supposed to already, like. I thought this was the first time he was going through this. They've already been like. I mean, they've always treated him like a criminal anyway, but this is like. I mean, it said this is the fourth time he's been arrested. Georgia officials have said Trump will be treated like others charged with crimes in their state. Oh gosh, I am so mad right now. I'm so mad. I'm so sad, but I'm more angry than anything. I just feel so helpless. Like, as his supporter, I know I could be out there like protesting. We'll see about that. But other than that, there's not a lot of power that I have, obviously. I just feel so helpless, and I don't know. Unless somebody tells me differently, we are following our normal practices. Okay, blah, 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 blah. Trump has denied any wrongdoing, as he should. I'm right there with you. He has characterized this as efforts to hurt his 2024 presidential campaign. That's what I was saying earlier, because it's no coincidence that this is happening this year as he's getting ready to run for president. Because what about the other 3 years? I mean, like, they're always trying to find something on him, but like, what about, why didn't they do all of this, go through all these indictments the past 3 years that Joe Biden has been president when he wasn't president? Is because, like, this is election year, so he's running and they don't want him to run and win. Um, and so they're just doing everything they can. I definitely agree with him on that. He has, okay, blah blah blah. In a post on Monday, Trump called the Fulton County District Attorney crooked, incompetent, and highly partisan. Well, maybe he is. Or, I mean, if he isn't, like, you could say that's what a mischaracterization of somebody, but you can't call it intimidation because he's President Trump has always been very outspoken. He's always trying to expose people's lies and people's nonsense and people's crap publicly, and he's still continuing to do that. And I wholeheartedly support him doing that. I would do the same thing if I were being treated as he is now. Um, but I don't know about I don't know like I said, I haven't been following this that closely, so I don't know like personally. Well, not personally. I don't know about the judge, so um, I don't want to speak on what I don't know. But I've always taken his word for it when it comes to him judging people's character because he has good character, and he's always been pretty accurate when it comes to him judging other people's character. And yeah, so I don't know. I wouldn't say he's too far off with that because a lot of people who are accusing him of stuff and of like going against him really are crooked, incompetent, and highly partisan. So maybe he is. Um, I don't see any. So far, I haven't seen anything that he said that's intimidating. I guess that's how people interpret it, but that doesn't mean it's true. He also attacked Kemp, whom he has long targeted. Okay, but it's not quoting how he attacked him. They keep using that word attack, but they're not like citing any quotes that's proving that he attacked anybody. Okay, I'm still moving on. Where are we at? 27 minutes. I'm almost done here. I pretty much said what I intended to say. Is that I'm really worried about him now. I'm worried like every time there's a new charge because I just really want him to stay in this race and I really want him to win. And I'm just hoping this doesn't affect that. I'm worried about like how this could be affecting his emotional and mental health because I know like if I were in that like I said if I were in that situation I'm only human like I would stay strong but I wouldn't say that wouldn't affect me emotionally and mentally especially since this is happening to him like almost constantly. I mean just imagine like being treated as a criminal when you're innocent like constantly the toll that would have on your like your emotional and mental state. So I don't know how he's dealing with it, but he is dealing with it. And I'll continue praying for him too. That he just hangs in there for us. Um, and that they drop these ridiculous charges against him. Doesn't look like they are though. No surprise there. Okay, I think I'm gonna close out this article soon. It's just talking more about um, the court. It's Thursday. Tomorrow is, and I'm gonna upload this tomorrow. Today is Tuesday, so I'm gonna upload it tomorrow, Wednesday, and then the day after that is when he's supposedly going to be booked and thrown in jail and all that. Okay, it's talking about these other people. Maybe this is 18 co-defendants. I don't know. Yeah, it's talking. Yeah, they got Giuliani too, I think. Okay, yeah, it's done. Um, yeah. Uh, yeah, that's it for that article. So maybe I won't do this style next time. It's kind of getting in my eyes. Still looks cute. Um, but yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say about what's been going on with President Trump and this new development. Like I said, it came as just a complete surprise to me. And it's interesting because just yesterday I was talking about him not participating in the debates, and then I think at the end of the article I was reading by Al Jazeera, it mentioned about um, I don't know where that can't find the article, but it said something. It seemed like a foreshadowing of him going to jail, and now here I am the next day with a new update on him actually going to be going to jail. I hope I don't see that happen, especially in those conditions they talked about. Three people have died. There's filthy cells, human rights violations. Like, why? What has he even done that warrants him let warrants him being put in those conditions, those cruel conditions? Like I said, that's cruel and unusual punishment for anybody at that jail, um, even him. So yeah, I mean, I'm sure that's not the only jail in Florida that they can, place somebody in. But we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. If they do, if they do that to him, I'm worried about how that could, affect him. He's already going through a lot. He's already there's a lot of pressure on him to win the race, and now he's going through the indictments. He might be in jail, put in jail now. He's going through a really hard time right now. So I'm just gonna pray for him for this year and hope he makes it through. Like I said, I pretty much feel helpless, but we'll see what I do if I protest or anything like that. Like I said, I'm focused on what's going on in my life, but I'm still following this too, because I'm going to vote for him, of course. So I am going to follow up with what's happening with him occasionally. So yeah, I'm just gonna end here.